person who doesn't fart in public. A private tutor. What do you get when you eat refried beans and onions? Tear gas? Okay, that's enough. I mean, I had a couple more jokes about farts, but they all really stunk. Speaking of stinking, let's talk about the so-called Green New Deal and its effects on beef production. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pepper White, and frankly, I'm tired of the media and millennial college kids blaming the snow in New York, hurricanes in Florida, and just about every other problem in their lives on my cow's farts. On February 7th of this year, Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, or AOC for short, released the details of the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal suggests we ditch air travel for railroads, rebuild all of the nation's buildings, provide everyone with living wage, free health care, and so much more. So, where do cow farts come into play? Cows are mentioned in the following context, and I quote, "We set a goal to get to net zero emissions rather than zero emissions in the next 10 years because we aren't sure we'll be able to fully get rid of farting cows and airplanes that fast." Shortly after the release of the Green New Deal, AOC appeared in a late-night talk show where they asked her, "Why is everyone talking about cow farts?" Her reply was, "In the deal, what we talk about, and it's true, is that we need to take a look at factory farming, period. It's wild. And it's not to say we're going to get rid of agriculture. It's not to say we're going to force everybody to go vegan or anything crazy like that. But it's to say, listen, we got to address factory farming. Like, maybe we shouldn't be eating hamburger for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like, let's keep it real." Okay, I'll keep it real, all right. She's obviously never gotten up at 4 o'clock in the morning to load cattle and drive them halfway across Texas. If she had, she'd thank the good Lord she had the freedom to buy a Whataburger at 7 o'clock in the morning. The sad part is that she's not the only one discussing my cow's flatulence. Bill and Melinda Gates had this to say in a letter which was released February 12th. The letter reads in part, "I wish more people fully understood what it will take to stop climate change. We need to do a much better job of informing the people about the challenges. It would help if media matched the breadth of the problem. I mean, solar panels are great, but we should be hearing about trucks, cement, and cow farts too." Well, Bill, I wish you were here, because then you'd get to hear the truth about my cow's farts. The deal with cows is simple. When they burp or fart, they're burping and farting out methane. According to United Nations, these burps and farts contribute to 4% of all greenhouse gas emissions, and the livestock industry is responsible for around 18%. That second number has some hidden stuff inside it. It's not just about the burps and farts, but rather the overall carbon footprint some argue my cattle may leave behind. But the American Beef Council has some numbers of their own. They say beef production is responsible for only 3.3% of all greenhouse gas emissions. They also say that the U.S. produces the same amount of beef with 33% fewer cattle as compared to 1977. So, what if we said, "AOC, you're right. We'll stop eating beef." Research by Virginia Tech has determined that if we stop producing livestock in the U.S., we will only reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 2.6%, or a measly 0.36% globally. However, this would also cause changes in dietary needs, since people would not be getting several essential nutrients from animal proteins. This would cause deficiencies in calcium, vitamin A, B12, and several other important fatty acids, ultimately resulting in the need for higher caloric diets. The biggest problem with methane estimates is that they're just that, estimates. No one from the EPA is standing out in my yard collecting my cow's farts. Have you seen them in yours? Yes, their estimates are based on data, but scientists have to make certain assumptions to account for every cow. And it's not just how much does the average cow fart in a day? It's how much does the average beef cow weigh? How much does the average dairy cow weigh? How is their poop handled? How much do they eat? And so on. I mean, for instance, I raise miniature Herefords and lowlines, so my cattle are what you might call petite poopers. Are they being counted as the same 2,000-pound limousine bull? There aren't universal guidelines for these things, so climatologists have to build models. When these models are based on outdated or biased information, they're bound to be inaccurate. I believe we should have agriculturists conducting these studies, not some random nerd in an office who has never seen a cow in their life except for on a Chick-fil-A advertisement. In conclusion, I believe it is our duty as farmers to inform the people of how farming actually works. There are plenty of vegans out there today who do not use animal products because they don't want animals to suffer. And there are plenty of people agreeing to the Green New Deal who don't know all the facts. As ranchers, we must step up and deliver the facts. If I can leave you with one thing from this speech today, it is this. We must all be agricultural advocates, whether it is cattle, pigs, sheep, or even crops. Our livelihood and our way of life depend on it. Thank you.